So, but I have this video that I would like to share. 1 second here. Screen.
You'll be able to share your screen.
Okay, yes, I'm seeing, because since it is a video, I would like to make sure that it has the right oh, here's optimized for video clip. Perfect. Let's see. All right. Okay, do you guys see my screen?
It's sharing, it's black. Okay, now I see.
All right. After watching this video, maybe I can answer questions or just follow up on this topic about financials. I believe this is the key to improve and solve most problems of economic problems in the world. So here we go.
Money is like water.
Money is like water. In the Bible, it mentions that Jesus had no interest in material possessions for himself. However, in several accounts, he mentioned the importance of money for life. For example, Matthew 17:25-27 says that Jesus paid his taxes using a coin manifested inside a fish. In Matthew 25, Jesus used a parable in which a master gave money to his servants, expecting them to multiply his wealth. In Luke 14:28, Jesus explained the importance of calculating costs before starting a construction. In Mark 12, it is cited that Jesus recommended paying taxes using the inscription of a currency coin. Considering that Jesus spoke so much about money, let's talk about money, comparing money and currencies to water. Yes, money is like water. An article released on March 2022 by Nick Hanauer said, "Our current crisis of geographic inequality is the direct consequence of policy choices made at the national level. An economic system is not different from a natural ecosystem, in which individuals, businesses, and groups of businesses interact cohesively, seemingly to individuals, species, and groups of species interact for a self-sustainable ecosystem. Where money is equivalent to water in an ecosystem, the more liquid water, the greater the prosperity of the ecosystem. Seeing water as a currency, a poor economy would be like a desert. If we gradually increase wealth proportionally to the supply of water, that economy will turn to a plain of pastures, then to a rainforest, to a swamp, to a lake, or even to an ocean full of prosperity. In different levels of supply of water, some species will need to adapt to the changes to survive. Some species will not be able to exist in certain conditions. For example, a wolf cannot survive in an ocean without land, or a dolphin cannot survive in a plain of pastures. Some creatures like ducks and swans can live under any conditions of amount of water, but the temperature and salinity of the water will affect their survival. We know that biodiversity and prosperity of life form are directly proportional to the amount of water the environment contains. The same happens for businesses. Some businesses will go extinct, and some will thrive in different market conditions depending on the levels of supply of money. While some businesses will always exist in all types of markets. So stability in the supply of water should stay fairly constant for species to thrive. We know that banks can produce money out of nothing, so the supply of money is literally infinite. We know that in nature, the supply of water is with rain, ice melting, rivers, and air humidity. But what are the supplies of water for an economy? The water of an economy or the money comes to a market through salaries. So the rain, rivers, and fountains of water are the ability of people to earn money from companies, which translates that the higher the salaries of the individuals, the more prosperous the economy can be. To support this analogy, what's the main difference between rich countries versus poor countries? The salary. The salaries. In poor countries, people have low wages, while in rich countries, people enjoy high wages. A very simple fact that demonstrates this hypothesis that the higher the salaries, the greater the prosperity in any economy. Many believe that the great poverty in many countries is the result of systematic racism and because of false economic theories thought by educational institutions. We know that increase in salaries boosts the inflation of a currency, but that should not be a problem if salaries are being raised proactively above the percentage of inflation rate as shown in this chart, and every 10 to 20 years remove 1 zero from the currency value. Bottom line, the minimal and standard wages must be raised in a consistent basis by governments for an economy to thrive, like keeping the economy in a similar stable state of a rainforest or an ocean. The more water, the greater the biodiversity and life. It sounds simple, yes, but it all depends on a benevolent control system that will solve all economic problems in the world, which starts with the education of a scientific economic theory. A benevolent government and banking system with control over a currency will be ideal. That's a disadvantage of cryptocurrency. Blockchain is not a controlled currency that could be managed as a controlled traditional currency can. Since the fluctuations of value in cryptocurrency are usually unstable, a prosperous market might not be feasible in an economy based on cryptocurrencies for business to thrive. While traditional currency is created out of nothing, the cryptocurrency is created by community contributions, or its value is an agreement of a group of people that believe it has value. The world needs to understand this concept for authorities to regulate reasonable wages around the world. People share this valuable information for your personal prosperity and the prosperity of a worldwide economy. Money is like water.
If you like our videos, please subscribe and enable the notifications.
Hey, okay.
Do you guys have any questions, or do you have what do you guys think about the video?
I
You guys
agree
hear-
that
Huh.
I agree that money is infinite, just like water is, though. The analogy of that.
Mhm. So what would be the solution according to this information?
The solution to what?
To the economic crisis in the world?
For me, there's a point where the sound was like double, and that kind of distracted me because I was trying to figure out how to stop it, and then so I kind of lost some of the part of it. So I apologize.
Okay.
It
so
was
the
very
basic-
distracting. It was
So
very
the-
distracting. Couldn't keep up with what was the meaning and what you were trying to say wasn't able to actually come through because of the
Okay.
double talk.
Okay. So do you think it was the audio problem?
Very much so.
Okay.
It's
So-
totally distracting from what you're trying to tell us.
Okay, so I'm going to then explain it with my words. Perhaps it's better than a video. The salaries are the source of cash flow in every economy. In nature, the source of water usually is rain. It goes to the rivers and the lakes. But in an economy, the source of water are salaries. If governments agree to raise salaries at the same phase of the inflation, then the economy will be wealthy, full of cash flow, moving from one side to another. So the solution to all economic problems in the world is raising salaries. Rich countries have high wages. poor countries have low wages. Does it make sense what I'm telling you guys?
But is it that simple? Is it just raising salaries? Because
Yeah.
the salaries have to come from the income the business makes. And in the United States, I think government, I mean, every business can pay what they want to. They can do it if they want to. I don't know if governments control the salaries in the United States. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, minimum wages are controlled by the government.
oh, the minimum wage. Yes, minimum wage. Right.
Mhm.
Okay, so you're talking about raising the minimum wage, not all salaries.
Yes, the minimum wages. All salaries based on minimum wages.
Got it. Mhm.
So so the one who proposed this idea is Nick Hanauer. Nick Hanauer actually is the owner of the central bank, one of the owners of the central bank in the United States. See, money is created out of nothing. Governments, they just create money out of nothing. So the source of money is infinite, literally infinite. If all countries agree to have the same minimum wages across the world, then there will not be this huge imbalance of economies around the world. So the solution literally resides in the education. People have to be educated about how the economy works, and not vote for necessarily a person, but voting for changing laws, changing the way countries raises or set those minimal wages. When people is aware, then it is empowered. That's why knowledge is power, because you can make influence decisions or make better decisions in life, such as economy. The economy is important for all of us, right? Now, do you guys have any other question before I proceed with the next topic, or any?
Yeah, I have a philosophical question. What about
Yes.
all the greed? What about all the greed that's in the heart of every human being, and all those countries that all the North America exploits 2/3 of the world, people starving to death, and the wars? What about that? You can't resolve that just by saying that simple thing. There's greed in each human being, and the countries are corrupt. They're not all going to agree. Like I don't understand. I really don't understand your philosophy.
Okay, let's say that everybody is aware that salaries have to be raised for a better economy. If everybody is educated about how economy works, then the entire world will have a collective push, a collective mindset to for judges and people who make the laws to adjust the minimal wage of the region. So it's a matter of people understanding what is the solution across the world. It's a collective consciousness, a collective endeavor. It's about everybody being on the same page. Just
What would
know.
that minimum wage be, though? Like,
I'm sorry.
what would that minimum wage be? I know this topic is very sensitive because this is like it's heavy and it's like super simple the way you're saying it. And I think that's why it's like I'm waiting for the punchline because yeah, wage and minimum wage is not not that easy. Okay, so I'm in Colombia right now and I have like a staff of like 5 people. I can't pay them the same wage I pay them in the States. If they raise the minimum wage to United States wages, or I guess they'd have to lower wages, United States wages to to match Colombia. Like I couldn't afford to hire them at you with American prices. I think so, but I don't think it's because I'm bad or because I'm a bad person. I just think my business not making enough money to hire 5 people full time. But in Colombia, I can. So, but it would be great if everybody had the same wage, I guess. I just don't know how that would work or even be possible if you did it. I don't know. I know Sherlock was trying to say something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's say that there's a business, let's say a restaurant. They have employees or servers, and they have a very little salary. They cannot afford to go to another restaurant, right? But if you raise the salaries, and everybody raises the salaries, then the employees of other restaurant will go to your restaurant, and they will raise more money for your business, and your own employees will go to other restaurants and will raise the income from other restaurants. You know what I mean? Everybody
Don't
will
you make the money
spend
to
more.
raise the salaries?
Can I say something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brother, I have to push back on the premise of your argument. You're defining wealth only in terms of material wealth. What the lady just mentioned is that there are human beings who have corrupt desires, and wealth is not only in terms of fiat currency. You're talking about fiat currency, money, cash, and there are other kinds of wealth. I mean, there's a prayer. I'm going to come. There's spiritual wealth and material wealth, and what you're not speaking about, and what the lady was alluding to, it's not. You can't just talk about. I mean, it's there is something amiss and something missing in your analysis because you're speaking to people here only in terms of cash flow and wealth, rich countries and poor countries. There are a lot of rich countries that are very poor spiritually. Most countries that are rich materially are poor spiritually. Look at the Soviet Union. Look at China. Look at the United States. I mean, this country, the United States, where I live right now, is supposedly regarded as the richest country in the world. But look at what's going on politically. I mean, I mean, you have to have cognitive dissonance to see the madness that's happening there. That you have a man who's now on trial, former president of the United States, and he's been indicted, and everybody seems to normalize that, like it's all good. I mean, I'm not talking about politics. I'm just talking about being rich. I can't imagine a country like the United States being regarded as rich with the leadership that it's had and as what's going on. There's the corruption and the greed and the killings. And what about those things? The lady was talking about that. And your argument thus far, brother, it's very, very simplistic and very materialistic. It has no sense of integrating the human value, like we're spiritual beings having a human experience, not human beings having a spiritual experience. And your premise and your argument, as I understand it, unless I'm wrong, is predicated clearly and exclusively on us being human beings having a spiritual experience and not spiritual beings having.
1 second. 1 second. I have to get off my Zoom meeting. Okay, leave. Okay.
Wait, get on mute. Okay, go ahead. She left.
She left?
Yes.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I really liked her comment. Basically, I just wanted to complete what I was saying is that there is a prayer which I would just utter quickly, and it says, "Be not troubled in poverty, nor confident in riches, for poverty is followed by riches, and riches are followed by poverty. Yet to be poor in all save God is a wondrous gift. Belittle not the value thereof, for in the end it will make thee rich in God." That's the currency I want to trade in, not to be rich in material currency. Would you care to address that?
Yeah, let me explain you something. Let's say you're a father that has to feed maybe 5 kids, and you have a salary that is enough for feeding your kids, but it's still you would like to have more to take them to vacations, right? So you're not talking about money, you're talking about the love that you want to give to your children with some material reward and material aspect,
Resource.
So let's say that this money is also spiritual. When you work for it and you put your love into that work and you obtain money because you're thinking about, oh, I'm going to work for my family. I'm going to feed my family, and not just feed them, but I'm going to give them vacations, gifts, right? So that's that love that you put into action, and you have as an outcome monetary income. That is not greed. That is love that you want to give to your family. If you don't have enough money to feed your family, you may become desperate. And that's the reason why poverty raises the rates of crimes. People start surviving instead of living a life. When people don't have enough, they become desperate for surviving, and crime is the result of poverty many times. So when you have a lot of inequality in an economy, imbalance, unfairness raises crime, raises desperation, raises low vibrational emotions like fear, anger, frustration, worry. By simply improving the economy of a region or a country, you can reduce all kind of negative outcomes. It's about balance, about love, about prosperity, abundance.
Thank you.
So yes, so that's what I have for this topic. I don't know if you guys want to talk about the economic aspect, or if I can move forward to the next topic.
I think you can move forward.
All right, I'm gonna start sharing my screen again. This is just some let me see here. Actually, I'm talking about this aspect of greed. Look, I'm going to explain a fundamental concept of how we humans evolved, and how our instincts affect our behavior. Let me share my screen here. Okay. Do you guys see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to give you an example of a zebra. This zebra was eating oranges and beetles. At the same time, the zebra was attacked by a lion. This zebra survived the attack of a lion, but she had a wound. She was injured while she was eating oranges, and around the oranges there were beetles. The brain of the zebra automatically associates the presence of beetles, the flavor and the smell of oranges, with the attack of a lion. This trauma is re-stimulated in the future if she has the same circumstances. If she's eating oranges, nothing happens. But if there are oranges and the presence of beetles simultaneously, something will tell the zebra that there is something terribly wrong, and her brain will re-stimulate the pain and worry of the attack of a predator. So that is called an engram. An engram is a molecule that is produced by the hippocampus and saves that memory in a form of a protein that will re-stimulate behavior in the future. So that's how we humans also could become frustrated when we see similar factors at the same time. It will trigger our fears, may trigger our instincts of survival. So we have to understand the concept of engrams, because not necessarily we're not necessarily in danger. We're not necessarily under attack. Perhaps that instinct that is telling us that we're under attack is nothing more than a restimulation of an engram, like seeing oranges and bills at the same time. Perhaps is just a tone of voice, certain music, certain certain factors that will reminding us a negative experience in the past. So understanding this concept, we can say, we can put this example. Why you cannot do that? Oh, it's because I know myself. When these situations happen, I react in such a way. It's just who I am. I cannot control it. So the question is, if you cannot control it, is that really you? So we are limiting ourselves many times when we say, no, I can't. Well, probably it's not you. Probably it's an engram. Probably it's a trauma. That's why we have to say yes to ourselves. Yes, I can. Because if you want, you can. Our limiting beliefs are based on fear, based on worry, and nothing can really stop you from attaining success but yourself. Only yourself can stop yourself. When we say no, it's usually fear. It's usually a trauma. We can understand this concept to move forward and do something that nature has also equipped us. Is a reward engram. For example, birds, they can build nests, and nobody taught birds how to build nests. They have inherit the knowledge and the talent from their parents. Their DNA wrote the talent and the knowledge of how to build nests. So how can we use of that inherent talent that we have? We can use the example for example, the monkeys or birds, they reward themselves when they feed themselves from fruits. So when you see a color that represents food, then that color will tell you and tell in the future, oh, there's food here. There's food here. So when you want to accomplish something, you can reward yourself after doing the work. Because if you do it before, then you are satisfying yourself without truly accomplishing what you're supposed to accomplish. So you can set, for example, if you like candies or you like certain type of meal, and you put it, okay, at the end of the day, I'm gonna reward myself after doing this work or accomplishing this. I have to do A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, and once I'm done with that, then I'm going to reward myself. Guess what? If you train yourself, perhaps your children will inherit that reward system, and they can be more successful. But also for yourself, you can definitely improve your abilities by rewarding yourself and retaining your brain talent. There's another type of engram that is called the predatory engrams. If I don't know if you've seen cats they maybe hunt a mouse, and the mouse, they just play with the animal. They torture the animal. They don't actually eat it. They just enjoy seeing the animal being tortured until it dies. They don't even eat it. That happens a lot with predators. Let's imagine a pack of wolves hunting an animal, maybe a deer. The wolves can associate pleasure with the suffering of another creature. It's automatic. And we humans, we also evolve as predators. We have to understand that sometimes evil might be manifested by a predatory instinct. And that's what it causes greed and negative behavior in others. Is is a is a genetic pattern that we inherit. So sometimes we have to enjoy life without causing harm to others. Usually, the desire of power is natural. However, we would like to be aware what is controlling us. Is that me, or is that a predatory instinct, right? So, understanding these natural behaviors, how predatory instincts could be the cause of maybe narcissistic personality disorders. We can make sure that there's no we develop a system that is not controlled by greed, that is controlled by a win-win benefit. If I win, the other person has to win. If we set a behavior in which I win and others lose, that is predatory. That is not me. That is not you. That is a genetic print, a genetic pattern that was inherited. So always think of balance. Always think of win-win. Everybody has to win. If that is a good aspect, and sex predators are also not behaving because with their soul. It's actually a genetic defect, as that we inherit from from the animal part of ourselves. So how can we, as a society, reduce this problem of sex crime in the world? Well, a lot of issues are caused actually by laws, and this is a very delicate topic. I want to be like make sure that you guys understand where I'm coming from. When a society criminalizes prostitution, then we have a society where those that are predators cannot have their sexual thirst satisfied. So let's say that there's a one person that needs money and another one that needs sex. That is a win-win. If we criminalize prostitution, we're actually perpetuating the sexual thirst without being satisfied, and this person in sexual thirst would eventually go and harm somebody and commit a sexual crime. So again, criminalization of prostitution is not necessarily the solution. We have to find a win-win perspective. It's a mindset. It's always a win-win. As mentioned, this is a very delicate topic. One of the worst problems in the world is the sexual crime, and perhaps a closed mindset and laws criminalizing is probably the root cause of a lot of sexual crimes. if you see this example of the lizard, they cut their own tail. And this is a very good example of nature showing a win-win benefit. Win-win benefit. So the lizard feeds the predator, and the lizard survives. It's a win-win. You see, they cut their tail, they sacrifice, their tail. Their tail can grow again, and they feed the predator, and the predator survives. And the lizard survives. It's actually a win-win example from nature. The other example of win-win is our plants. Plants produce fruits, produce pollen, produce flowers, and they don't expect anything back. They just allow the animal to eat the fruit, and they know their seeds will be spread, and new plants will grow. New plants, more fruits, more flowers, and that's the cycle of nature. That is the positive aspect of nature. It's always thinking about win-win solutions. We all win when everyone wins. It's the same of an economy. Everybody has greater salaries, and it's a win for everybody. More abundance, more prosperity. And nature gives us the example of a win-win. Never thinking of a win-lose. Always thinking of a win-win benefit. Another example of yes, it's a collective shift in our mindset. That's what we are promoting here, win-win solutions. Now, when Einstein said that the world will be destroyed not by those doing evil, but those watching and doing nothing. So do you want to be part of the solution, or do we want to be part of the ones doing nothing? What do you guys think about this question?
I think it has to start with the education system in schools. When you're teaching little children not to compete, who's getting better marks, who's getting better this, it's a whole system of competition, and it starts at a very young age in the school system. Now, who's controlling the school system? Who's controlling the education? This starts from a very early age. Like, let's see, if I talk to somebody and I say, okay, let's do this win-win thing. I'm just giving you an example. I talked to a girl yesterday, and she just started to cry, and she said, I'm all alone and my life is terrible. I had talent, and you, Rena, you get everything you want. And so I had to stop and just listen to her crying for like 10 minutes to get all her emotions out. I mean, it's not so simple. You know what I mean? Like, people have heavy issues sometimes, and it's not so easy just to say, okay, let's do a win-win thing. Like, it comes from childhood, like, so people have issues, it's not, but I understand, like, for people who are very mature, this makes a lot of sense. But in general, in the society, it has to be a whole reconstitution, how parents raise their children, how the school system is, and it's not so complicated. It's complicated, yeah.
Yes, it's in the education is one of the root causes. And guess what? Today is the Mother's Day. The education starts at home. The education starts with mothers too. It's not just the schools. The ones that need to understand this concept of win-win, the concept of engrams, the concept of predatory instincts, the concept of survival, are mothers. Mothers will teach the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. That's the true power that mothers have. They can educate and change the entire world by educating themselves, and then they can educate their children. Educate their children not just to survive, but to create a better society, to create a mindset of win-win. Who
Yeah.
here are mothers?
I'm a mother.
Who else is a mother here?
I'm a mother. I'm joking. But I do want to be part of the solution. I'm curious to see the next slide because I know we're running out of time.
Okay,
And
yes.
so I want to be part of the solution, or I want to
Yes.
see what's next. Yeah.
So say education is the solution. Now when we talk about the sexual predators, now drug addiction. Drug addiction is also caused by criminalization. I'm gonna give you an example of Amsterdam. Right? Amsterdam, drugs are regulated, they're not criminalized. In these coffee shops in Amsterdam, they sell all kind of drugs. Because what? Why are drugs legal? Well, one of the worst drugs in the world is legal, alcohol, right? This is really, really harmful. So the thing is that in these place in Amsterdam, the government tax the drugs. So they know who sells, they know who consumes, and they use the taxes to create rehabilitation centers. When somebody's buying too much, this person is an addict, and they see addiction as an illness, not as a crime. So when you create crime, when you criminalize things, the only thing you're bringing or creating is criminals. So you eliminate crime, you eliminate dark market, gangs, organized crime that is behind all these activities that run, hiding from the authorities. So when you think about a win-win benefit, okay, somebody wants to get high, you can get it, you can buy it legally. We tax the traffic. Those taxes are invested in rehabilitation centers. People who are in addiction, they are taken to rehabilitation centers, and you attack the root cause, not the symptom. Criminalization only leads to more crime, because let me tell you something. Whether it's legal or not, people is going to do it when there's money involved. Again, if you have a family and you don't have any other income than trading something that is illegal, people is going to do it whether it's legal or not. People is going to do it because there's a need of feeding families, there's a need of getting income. So governments need to regulate. Legislation over criminalization. Regulation over criminalization. Criminalization perpetuates the win-lose. But if we regulate, we legalize, we legislate, we're creating win-win systems. Raising salaries, decriminalization, legislation. It's the same of prostitution. Prostitution has to be regulated, not criminalized, because it will create sexual predators that will harm victims. Same with criminalization of drugs. Criminalization of drugs will lead to crime, gangsters, or dark market, all kind of horrible things. And rehabilitation centers created with tax is a very smart way of solving a problem. It's a win-win benefit. Attacking the addiction, not the person. Attacking the process, not the person. Attacking the system, not the person. Win-win benefits. Where everybody wins, everybody's happy. Balance, reconciliation, fairness. So yeah, that's the solution. Is mainly about changing laws, changing how governments are doing things. I know there's little we can do. What we can do is inform ourselves, educate others, and make pressure in a peaceful way. In a way, we if there is some sort of democracy in your country or in this country, we don't have to actually vote for people. We need to vote for better laws. Vote for better legislations. Again, it's not a person. Don't attack the person, attack the process, attack the system. It's not the person. Not even voting for people, voting for better laws, for better legislations. See the example of nature. Nature is generous with fruits, flowers, vegetation. Money is like water too. So the example is there in front of us. Just look at nature. All right, thank you so much, everybody. I think that's the end of my presentation. Getting back to you, Dan. I really appreciate the opportunity. If you have any questions, reach out to me, and we can definitely talk.
So let me ask, thank you very much. Let me ask, did anybody get anything out of this today?
Yes, very valuable, very valuable. We have to just copy the animals. Grace of God gave animals, and we just went all the wrong way. It was very, very educational. It really inspired me.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else got anything out of today? Candace, Marjorie, Anita.
Well, I agree about the part about the animals where the cat will not kill it right away. Cat will always play with it and let it run half dead. And like out in the wild, they're dead. Once they attack it, kill it, that's straight up dead. But the domesticated animals, like cat, I want to agree with that. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, it helped me. I got something out of today. It helped me see, even for my team, win-win situations is like, paying them better, like make them work better, which will help the community better, grow the business. So definitely gonna take a second look at how I already thought it was a win-win, but how I can create more win-win situations with my community and with people I want in the community. So I got something out of it. It's very delicate, the conversation about prostitution. That's very sensitive, risky even for a man to talk about sometimes, because usually it's not the men that are quote unquote the prostitutes. But you're going, there's or not most of the time. There's some time, but I think most of the time when I travel, I see more women as prostitutes than the men.
Okay, let me say something here, because prostitution is legal here in the Dominican Republic. And it's regulated, and they have a union and a union rep and attorneys representing them when they don't get paid or when they get hurt or anything like that. So, and the country is still in a unbalanced, where you have more poor people than you have people who are doing better for themselves. So, I mean, all these ideas were all ideas that America came up a while ago, and other countries implemented it, just like with the lunch program and eating healthier foods during lunch. Michelle Obama promoted that, and France took it and ran with it. Now you have children learning how to sit at a table to eat with a knife and fork and eat like a 4-course meal for lunch. And they understand the etiquette, and they understand how the foods that they're putting in their bodies are nourishing themselves, and they're avoiding junk food and the sweets. Just like with what you mentioned in regards to Amsterdam, that was another thing that America came up with. But the unfortunate part is the banks and the corporations are all involved in the drug dealing. What did I get from this? There's a lot of change that we as the people need to be involved in to change, to find different ways to make life better for all of us, because the stark difference between the two is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Got it. Unfortunately, we're out of time, guys. We went over, and it was interesting. Thank you, Roberto, for the slideshow.
Thank you, Wilberto.
And for
Yeah,
I wish we had more time because it was kind of
Thank you.
interesting to go deeper and ask questions and to challenge these ideas. But we didn't have time for that. But thank you so much, and we'll keep talking in the chat. Thank you, all of you guys that are part of the community as well. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next call.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Happy
wonderful
Mother's
day.
Day.
Thank you, Wilberto. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Thank you. Thank you,
Happy
Roberto.
Mother's Day.
Mother's
Thank you.
Day to all you mothers.